AMD had a great year. Massive OpenAI and Oracle multi-year contracts, record revenue, insane profits, and guidance that's got Wall Street scrambling to raise price targets. Is AMD the next big AI winner? I'm SK, and today we are diving deep into the earnings statement, and we'll also be comparing them to the past quarterly earnings to assess the company's growth. AMD's Q3 earnings, which ended November 2025, recorded a $9.2 billion revenue, a 36% increase year over year. Net income exploded to $1.2 billion with EBITDA at $2.1 billion. Looking at the year-over-year revenue trends, in fiscal year 2023, they reported $22.7 billion. In 2024, that grew to $25.8 billion for a 13.6% increase. And for 2025, they are projected to generate $33.9 billion, $24.3 billion so far, and estimated $9.6 billion in the fourth quarter, marking a 32% rise. Their revenue has grown 50% in just 2 years. Key metrics include diluted earnings per share, which is a conservative way of calculating a company's profitability per share, came in at $0.75, which beat estimates, along with cash holdings of approximately $7.2 billion. This explosion is the direct result of the AI boom. More and more companies are transitioning to AI and HPC, and semiconductor chips are the core of all AI. Lisa Su, AMD CEO, has outlined aggressive long-term growth projections, driven primarily by insatiable demand of AI and the expanding data center market. Su emphasizes that the world is entering an era of Euro-scale computing, which will require a 10,000 times increase in compute capacity compared to 2022 levels over the next 5 years. AMD is positioning itself to be an integral part of this transition, viewing AI as a foundational technology that is still in its infancy and part of a long-term growth cycle. Now, to give you a clear picture of their progress, let's look at some quarter-over-quarter comparison tables. I'll pop these on screen for you to follow along. Pause if you need to digest the numbers. On the balance sheet, total assets have been continuously growing to approximately $77 billion in Q3 2025, thanks to operational expansions. Total liabilities are around $16 billion in the same time period, which has increased 6.2% quarter over quarter compared to a 2.8% increase in total assets. The huge difference in assets and liabilities means they can pay all of their debt almost 5 times over if it comes to that. The current assets are at $27 billion, around 2.2 times their current liabilities at $11.7 billion, showing strong short-term liquidity. Shareholders' equity stands at around $60.8 billion, which tells us what's left for the shareholders after all their liabilities are taken care of. Their current ratio in Q3 2025 is 2.21. Anything over 2 is considered rock solid, signaling strong short-term health. And their extremely low debt-to-equity ratio means they are financing their growth more with equity than debt, which is always a good sign. In the income statement, data center business drove bulk of the revenue, up 36% quarter over quarter. Gross margins improved significantly due to raised prices amid supply shortages. Operating expenses rose 10% quarter over quarter because of data center and R&D spending, and net income increased approximately 42.5% quarter over quarter. They have been on a steady growth with margins hitting 52%, up from 49% in 2025. Looking at the cash flow statements, operating cash flow, which is the amount of cash a company generates from its core business operations, came in at $2.1 billion in Q3 2025, which has grown more than 7% from previous quarter, explaining their steady growth. Free cash flow is at $1.9 billion, which in simple terms calculated by subtracting capex from operating cash flow. Their capex is low because of their fabless model, leaving expenses only for assets that support operations and research. Before we conclude this video, please like and subscribe if this video is adding value. All things considered, AMD had an amazing year with data center revenue being the leading revenue stream, from $3.2 billion in Q2 to $4.3 billion in Q3. And this will continue to rise due to ever-growing AI demands. With locked-in multi-year contracts with OpenAI and Oracle, AMD has secured its future. Their ingenious fabless model has proven to be highly effective, keeping their infrastructure spending extremely low. Bottom line, AMD is positioned well to benefit from the AI boom, and it has proven its might against competitors like NVIDIA and Intel. With growing assets, revenue, and cash reserves, it will continue going up in coming years but might make a correction in the short term. And for that, we'll have to look at the technicals. That's a topic for another video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and invest wisely.